Can you see that thing flickering there? That is the heads-up display which is actually showing the speed, and then it also shows you the audio tracks, and also you can actually change audio tracks from there itself, and it also shows you navigation data there. That is so freaking cool. Alright, we are all set to go, which means getting into sport mode, and individual configuration has already been done. Let's get into sport displays, getting into drive mode, putting it into sport mode, turning off traction control. There it shows traction control has been turned off, not completely because then it is supremely risky. It's just going to spin its wheels. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, rev till 2,500 RPM, and yeah, it will not simply launch because it will slip its wheels because there is lack of traction available here as it is wet right now. But as you saw, the performance is really very great. This is powered by a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder motor. No, it's not a V6, it's an inline 6-cylinder motor, and performance is very great. In fact, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes just 5.7 seconds. Meanwhile, the top speed happens to be a crazy 250 kilometers per hour, where they've actually limited the car, and it can easily go above 250 kilometers per hour. In fact, this car can easily cross 280 kilometers per hour. Such is the level of thrust on offer. So it produces 265 horsepower. Meanwhile, torque output is 620 Newton meters. Naturally, it gives this car a lot of get-go. In fact, there is so much punch throughout the rev range that it absolutely pulls like a rail. In-gear acceleration, mind-boggling. Want to make a quick overtake? Just get into throttle, downshifts immediately, and pulls very strongly. In fact, redline comes in at 5,000 RPM. This diesel motor loves to rev. It revs like a petrol motor. That is the level of grunt on offer, and it will rev past 5,000 RPM. That is the level of performance on offer. In fact, if I actually touch either of the paddles or the Triptronic function, it will not upshift unless and until I do so, giving me complete manual control here. In fact, here I downshift. Now, as you can see, I have downshifted. Now, as I get onto the gas, it will not upshift unless and until I do so, going past 5,000 RPM with quite a lot of ease. Now, this 8-speed torque converter gearbox is extremely fast with shifts, but it's just not the speed of shifts that's so good. It's the smoothness and refinement. In fact, the motor is also extremely refined, very smooth, very punchy. Drivability is great. Turbo lag is extremely well contained, and it just pulls like a rail. That is the level of performance on offer from the 530d. Great refinement. Lower down, you can barely hear the motor at idle, but as you get going, obviously it makes some sound, which is actually quite sporty and definitely pleasing to the ears as well. Yes, this is what happens when power goes to the rear wheels, but it does a great job of putting down all that power. Now, obviously traction control is turned off, not completely. There's another mode wherein traction control can be completely turned off, and trust me, when that happens, the car just spins its wheels. There's just too much torque going to the rear wheels. It's got multiple drive modes on offer. They're basically 3 drive modes, which happens to be Eco Pro, Comfort, and Sport. Eco Pro and Sport have their individual configuration, so you can decide if you want to alter the various parameters. And the 4 parameters which get altered is, of course, the engine, the transmission, the steering, as well as the suspension system, because it gets adaptive dampers, and adaptive dampers are standard on the 5 series, even on the 520d as well as the 530i, which means no matter which version of the 5 series you opt for, it gets adaptive dampers, which really helps its cause a lot because you can feel a big difference between the various modes on offer. Now, other than the 4 parameters I mentioned, there's another parameter which can be tweaked, is the sport seats. Basically, when you get into sport mode, even the seats cushioning changes. So what it does is it actually hugs you around your waist area in order to give you great traction across the corners. Traction in the sense that you would be body hugged by the seat, so you feel very comfortable and glued to the car as well. And even traction control gets altered in the various modes on offer, and you can see this display, the sport display, it's showing you exactly how much power and torque is being consumed in real time. The rear tire is massive at 275 section, which gives it great grip, and it obviously has launch control mode. So left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and launch control gets activated, giving you the best possible launch. Suspension system is obviously on the stiffer side, but ride quality is brilliant. Unless and until you hit a real bad patch of road, you can't feel much inside the cabin. Insulation from the outside world is also great. You can barely hear road or wind noise as well. Tire noise too is contained out of the cabin. Overall, the 530d really impresses on multiple fronts, whether it's performance, dynamics, as well as ride and handling. And the handling is very nice. In fact, even though this is bigger than its predecessor, the F10, this G30 model has great ride and handling balance, especially the fact that it doesn't let you feel that it's stiffly sprung, yet it doesn't even let you know the dimensions of this car. That is the way this vehicle has been tuned. You know, the best thing about this car is not the fact that it's just fast, it's also very fuel efficient, returning a fuel economy between 10 to 15 kilometers per liter depending on your driving style. Now of course, EcoPro stretches that mileage dramatically. In fact, on a full tank of fuel you can go up to 50 kilometers more in EcoPro alone, because it just saves that crucial bit of fuel if you want to really pinch. However, performance is not the best in EcoPro. Comfort performance is decent for the city, but in sport mode it drives the best because it has just so much more punch on offer, really pulls hard and fast, and this gearbox is also very fast with shifts. This ZF source unit 8-speed torque converter, it gives you quick upshifts. It is also ready for downshifts whenever you need them, and overall performance is really breathtaking, like really breathtaking indeed. Body roll is very well contained. The steering offers surprisingly quick maneuvers and is very rich in terms of feel and feedback. It's a very accurate car in every possible way. In fact, compared to its predecessor, the new 5 Series, the 530d especially, feels a lot better. It just doesn't feel its size, even though it's bigger, has a longer wheelbase, has a wider track too. It just feels so agile, nimble, and gives you sure-footed handling as well as great ride comfort too. Now there's a start-stop system as well. It basically turns off the car when you're not using it, in the sense that you've stopped at a signal or something of that sort. It obviously default activated in EcoPro as well as comfort mode, and you can press the button below the engine start-stop button to deactivate it. But that said, you know, as soon as you put the gear lever into sport, it will deactivate the start-stop system even if you're in EcoPro mode. So yes, you can also opt for putting the gearbox into sport or into manual mode too. The steering wheel obviously feels great to hold. It's a little bit too chunky for my liking, but around the corners it gives you good feel as well as feedback, and the steering mounted paddles are of course a big boon as well. Overall, BMW has really refined this car dramatically, making it one of the best picks in the segment. They call it the business athlete, and there is no denying the fact that it is agile, it is comfortable, and offers a whole lot of fun, because this 530d, which costs rupees 80 lakhs on road Mumbai, does have a lot of grunt on offer. You pay 9 lakhs more from the 520d for the 530d, mainly for the sportier looks, a lot more features, as well as breathtaking performance. Don't believe me here? Get into the throttle. It absolutely pulls hard and fast. That is the level of thrust on offer. Meanwhile, the price of the 530i is rupees 70 lakhs, 1 lakh cheaper than the 520d, but it's available in M Sport. Meanwhile, the 520d is not available in M Sport, it's available in luxury line trim. So guys, this is my review of the BMW 5 Series, the 530d, an absolute blast of a car, phenomenal in almost every way. Now many of you might want to compare it with the E-Class, but the comparison with the E-Class happens with the 6 Series GT, not with the 5 Series. If you like this vlog, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.